So we're here. We're here. Lisa L. Gilliam's Random But Real podcast with Chef and Erica. Unfortunately, Lisa is under the weather tonight, so she is not with us, but we are representing her. And as those of you who follow Lisa know, this is Random But Real, where anything can happen. She uses her voice, her melodic voice, through her singing, her writing, her speaking, just talk about all things relationship. But she always has an entree of mental health because of her background. And I am also a background of mental health counseling. But here in this forum, we are not representing professionals. If you feel like you need professional help in a form or fashion of relationships, we encourage you to reach out to a professional or for recommendations from us. But otherwise, we are here to talk about all things relationships. So, Chef, how are you tonight?
So,
I am well. It is Wednesday. I work in the school system. I think
oh, I
I've
didn't know that.
referenced that before. We have 2 more days. 2 more days, and then we get a break during this great holiday season. So I am well. Okay.
How long is the break?
2 weeks. We do not return back until January the 5th.
That's a nice schedule. 2 weeks.
It is. It is. How
That's
are
some good
things for
traveling.
you? How are things for you on the work front? Because that's a relationship too. Work relationships, they're also important. Why does that
Uh,
crack you up?
just it was something nothing. But yeah, that's important. Work for me has been it's been heavy, but it's good, manageable. Stress levels down. I'm doing
Okay.
great. It's the holiday season, filled
Right.
with love and inspiration. That's all I want to give to people. Love
And
and
I think that
inspiration.
that's really key, right? When we talk about work at this time right now, because of the season that it is, people are going on breaks or people are feeling jolly. And so those relationships, they're cool. Or they might be driving us crazy. Work relationships might be driving us crazy right now.
Do you have like a work husband?
No, I don't. I do not have a work husband. You know what I have? I have work children. Because Jay, remember, I'm older. I have work children, not work husbands anymore. I'm the old person at work, the older person at work now. I could be your work mama.
They call you the old lady.
I call me the old lady because I work with younger people. I do. I used to
Oh,
be the
you work
younger
okay.
person.
Okay. So how long you been doing it?
What? The work that I'm
The
doing now?
Yeah, mental you do mental health too, correct?
So currently I'm an elementary school counselor and I've been
Oh, okay.
doing that for 2 years. But I have been working for 31 years in the
And that
field of
in the
individuals with
field.
disabilities, whether it was a
Okay.
residential setting or a school setting. I've been working for 31 years.
Okay. What's the best setup for remediation for a kid with a learning disability?
What do you mean, what's the best setup?
Like, so if honestly they can't be in a large class, right? So it's
Well, it depends. It depends. Some students with disabilities are in classrooms with their peers, their non disabled peers. And some students with disabilities are in self contained classrooms. It really depends on the classification and the disability.
so do you feel like is it the teaching method or this child really does have a learning?
So let me be very clear that I am not a teacher. I have never been a teacher. I work in education, but I am not a classroom teacher. Okay. Having said that, based on the disability, what happens is when a student has a disability, they have what we call an IEP, an individualized education plan, or a 504, which gives them modifications within the setting of education. And that will determine how many hours they need within education, the general education setting, or outside of the general education setting in a whole self-contained classroom, if you will. So, that varies from student to student. But what I will say is students with disabilities, no matter how many hours they have on their IEP or in their 504, what their accommodations are, they just learn differently. We all learn differently. Like, have you ever thought about your learning style, Jay? How do you learn best?
What hands on? So I
Hands on.
gotta
So
touch
you
it.
are tactile.
I'm what?
Tactile. Tactile.
I have to touch it with my hands. I don't know nothing
Mm-hmm.
about no tic tac, but
Kinesthetic as well.
touch
Okay.
it.
So what I've learned about myself, really I learned this as an adult. I didn't know this as a child. I'm visual. I need to see it. I need to see it in order to really know it. If I
You
can
C
see
tat.
it, it's in my mind and
You
I
C
know
tat.
it.
You are C tat, and I'm tactile.
Right. I have children who are auditory. They can hear it. My children who sing, they can hear it and they know it. They're auditory learners. So we have all different kind of learning styles.
So in the IEP,
Hmm.
these measurements is how you define which section or category the child is going to be in.
So not necessarily. So a child goes through evaluations that will determine what the disability is. A learning disability, it can be autism, it can be oppositional defiant disorder, etc., and so forth, right? But within that IEP will be the means that will help the student learn best. Like, how will you help that student learn? In the area of mathematics, in the area of reading language arts, and in their behavioral component, if that applies to them. So that's what the IEP supports, that kind of work with students.
So many questions, but
Okay.
okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, we can
Thank you.
talk about that. We can talk about that.
So does the school get additional money for IEPs, and how many learning disability or disabled kids that
So
it
I
holds?
cannot speak to what schools get because they have students with this many number IEPs or et cetera and so forth. But I can speak to a school that is considered a Title One school, students who generally speaking have they come from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, maybe. A Title One school will get more services and provisions in general. Might that impact our students with disabilities? It might. I can't speak to that. Again, even though this is the work that I've done, I've not been on that administrative level that looks at the money, if you will, right? And breaks it down based on we get this because of that. So I'm not gonna say yay or nay to any of that, right? But how do we get here? How do we start talking about this?
Random but real,
Random but
random
real.
but real. I'm
That's
learning.
what it
You know
is.
what I mean? And it's fascinating because
Yeah.
oh, we could talk about it offline. I
We
don't
can
want to.
definitely talk about it.
Yeah,
I
I
will
don't
say
want to.
this again, having spent my entire career prior to last year when I became an elementary school counselor, just at an elementary school, my previous career has always been in special education. And I will say this, I love the work that I do. I praise God that He has placed me in the places that He has placed me to do the work that He has given me to do. Because they really are some special young people that I have worked with, even though they have been classified with disabilities that other people might write off.
But you out here, doing God's work.
I hope so. I
Oh,
think
that's what's
so.
up. So
Yes.
that's like it's like a ministry for you. Is that why you chose or picked that career
I
path?
didn't choose it, it chose me. No,
Okay, that's a
honestly,
great
all
answer.
jokes aside, like I happened upon the work. So my undergrad degree is in psychology. And while I thought I knew what I wanted to do, I really just got the first job that I got out of college by chance. It wasn't me pursuing that work per se. But I started my career working in group homes for individuals with autism.
Okay.
Yeah, someone put me on to that job. And it guided my career from that point on.
So basically you did all the learning. That was the school of hard knocks at the group home.
Yes. I felt like, you know how the Army's logo is, if you can do this, you can do
Do
anything?
anything.
That's what I felt like after the work that I did with autism in the beginning of my career.
What was the
Yeah.
most challenging thing that you found at the group home and dealing with the children or the people or the staff or the environment?
So the first most challenging thing for me probably was the fact that a couple of years into the work, I myself became pregnant. And the parents that I worked with, the parents of individuals with autism, they would share their pregnancy stories with me, the mothers, because I was a pregnant woman and they had been pregnant women, and they would just share with me what it was like to be pregnant. And here I am working with their child that they were pregnant with, who is a individual with autism. And I was young. I was 25 when I had my first daughter. And it was a little scary, for me, not having had a child before, currently being pregnant, to hear all these stories from women who have children that have autism. So I really didn't know as a mother what to expect. And while none of my children have a official diagnosis of any disability, I learned to respect the parents of children with disabilities. It's very challenging. Not that there's anything wrong with having a child with a disability, not at all. But it's very challenging because it's different. It's not, business as usual. There's a lot you have to know, there's a lot you have to understand, there's a lot you have to advocate for. You have to be your child's first advocate when you have a child with a disability because they can't speak for themselves. And the world is a normalized world that
That
we
sound
live
like the
in.
parents. It sound like the parents would have some challenges within that,
Sure.
and learning how to manage that. So that's when they call you to help out with that, or you got to teach the parents, or
Well, it's not that I was teaching them. I really think they were teaching me, honestly, to begin with, right? They were teaching me how to parent a child that's different. In a normal world, and your child is different, right? Like, what does that look like? So that was probably my biggest lesson, honestly. But educationally speaking, I didn't have a focus in college. I didn't know anything about autism per se with my degree in psychology. So coming out of college with that degree, I learned about autism on the job. I learned what worked and what didn't work. I learned, how to support an individual with autism, how to even speak of them, because again, it's one thing to say someone is an individual with autism versus someone is an autistic individual. How you say things even make the difference, right? So it's been a very fulfilling career that I've experienced. So once I did that work with autism, then I branched out to another agency that supported individuals with what we call now as intellectual disability, but what you may know previously as mental retardation, right? So I worked at an agency with individuals who had ID, intellectual disability. They had bipolar disorder, just various disabilities. And then I went into the school setting and I started working in schools with students who had learning disabilities, who had emotional disturbance, oppositional defiant disorder, ADHD, like all that.
that's public school.
Well, I worked in a non-public setting and public schools is where I currently work. Yes. So the non-public setting, it's called level 5. It's students whose disability is so severe that they can't be in their regular public
Setting.
school setting. So they go to what they call a level 5 school, which has more intense supports to support them through school. So not just dealing with academics, but dealing with the behavioral or the emotional side of what they're dealing with.
So what's one thing that you read about in school while you was in the process of getting it, and then you learned it totally different in the field, like it was way different in the field.
So in school, I mean, I took general psychology, I took adolescent psychology, I took social group, like I took specific things, but to literally come out of school and work the work that I've done, like that was totally different for me. I didn't learn about autism per se in college. I didn't learn about emotional disabilities, oppositional defiant disorder. I didn't learn about that. And again, I'm not a teacher. I've never been a classroom teacher. So I didn't have like a teaching background in anything that I've done. So all of that was very different. But when you get into the word, when you get into the world, not the word, when you get into the world of education, you learn to adapt with where you are.
So do you like with I'm sure you've been in environments that was like heartfelt. Do you ever bring any of that? How do you guard yourself in those situations?
So I'm a Cancer. I'm very emotional.
Yeah, okay.
So let's just pause right
Like
here.
like an empath? Okay.
I am an empath. I think I am an
Okay.
empath. Let's just pause right here real quick. And let's just, for our viewers that have just joined us, let's just, pick up where we are. So, hey, everybody. I'm Erica.
I'm Chef.
I'm Sha. And we are here talking about everything random but real in relationships. And as we started this particular conversation, we kind of went to work stuff, right? Instead of relationship stuff. And just talking about the work that I do in education. I'm not a teacher. I'm currently an elementary school counselor, but I've spent the majority of my career in special education, right? And you have to be a special person to work in special education. I don't think the average person can do it. And I mean that respectfully.
Get it. I know. Get it.
When you think about special education, what do you think? Like, were you in school and you thought about people in SPED? Like, what came up for you?
That they learn different, or I don't want to say they like they separate, but I just feel like people are, they have different needs than what I do. I mean, but everybody, I've never met a normal person. So I think we all have some type of special need that.
Yeah. So, ironically, after working with autism for 6 years, I used to say jokingly, I'm a little autistic too. Because people with autism, they're very routine. They like things the same way. They don't want to see a bunch of changes. I realized I didn't want to see a bunch of changes either. So does that make me autistic?
I mean, by your definition, yes.
Right? Um but there's some real clinical definitions to autism, right? Like you do have to be diagnosed a certain way, certain behaviors, but again, what I learned working with my individuals with autism, routine helps them. Routine keeps them on track. And I don't have a problem with that. I think routine is great. I'm not super spontaneous. Are you very spontaneous, Chef? You look it. I mean, not like look it. I mean, from our conversations, you seem spontaneous. Like you switch it up a bit. And that's cool. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. So when you think about relationships, when you think about dating someone, what are you looking for? You looking for a spontaneous person, or are you okay with a person who's very routine?
I like uh well, being spontaneous come with like a gift and a curse, because
Hmm.
like sometimes you want to be surprised, but sometimes so it has its own thing. So I would want my opposite. So she got to be a little artistic. Autism. I'm sorry.
Okay, I got you. Okay. So I can't remember. I was gonna go back and look at it, but I didn't get a chance to. You and Lisa were going back and forth on the last episode about some things, right? And I was cracking up. I wish I was on with y'all that night, but I couldn't be there with y'all that night. Do you remember what y'all were going back and forth about?
About a guy that she used to date, and she talked about it in the book, and I was telling her that she gotta put herself in. I mean, she got to be accountable for putting herself in those situations too, because
Mm-hmm.
the red flags were right in front of her. But so that's what we talked about.
I think I said it before on an episode. I don't know. You remember I might have mentioned that I had this meme that I saw that I thought was hilarious, right? And the meme said, therapist, didn't you see the red flags? Me. But I thought it was a circus and I like circus. You remember that? That can happen though, right? Like, yeah, there are red flags out there, chef, but sometimes we be looking like, oh my God, it looks fun. That ride looks nice.
I feel like okay, well you get what you get, suffer the consequences, you know. So
You get what
if
you get.
you can't get mad that you end up with a clown. You
When
at
I
the
thought I liked
circus.
the circus and I have a
Yeah,
clown.
yeah.
That
So I feel like you can't you can't create a storm and get mad when it start raining. You know,
yeah,
so you create your own mess. You got to deal with it. So we gotta be accountable for the little and big things in our life because we make the ultimate decision if we're gonna do or not do. So I feel
right.
like every encounter, choose wisely.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. So listen, I'm gonna take us here real quick, right?
Sure.
I've been watching this reel, right? And it is cracking me up because it's basically, it's fake, but it's couples at therapy. And it's
Yeah.
cracking me up because the couples are so hilarious to me.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? I
I
think I
know what you're
mentioned
talking
it.
about.
You
Yes.
know what I'm
Yes.
talking
I know
about?
what you're talking about. Yes.
And so when you think about, so people always say opposites attract, right? Should opposites attract though? Like, should we really settle down with somebody that's totally different from us?
I think you pick and choose those preference. I wouldn't want somebody that was totally like me. I feel like if you have if it's a duplicate, one is not needed. You know, I need something. I need. Nah, I wouldn't want to date my like. I would date myself, but I wouldn't want to. You know, I don't know. I don't know. That just sounds.
I don't know. I'm confused. What you want? You want to date you, or you
Nah, I
want to date
wouldn't.
different than you?
I would date me, but I wouldn't want to have somebody with my exact same because I'm not gaining anything in my relationship other than right.
I
I'm
hear
not learning
you.
anything new. I know what's gonna happen every day. I understand we like eating the same thing. I'm not. You're not introducing me to any new foods. You're not introducing me to a new vibe, a new environment.
So you want your woman to challenge you? In what way?
To be better than I was yesterday.
Okay. But what happens when I challenge you to be better and then you get mad at me because who am I to tell you to do it this way or that way? Are you going to look at me
I
like
think
that?
no. I think well first it would be the delivery and the approach to the conversation because I feel like that's everything. I think that's what most women go wrong at. It's the delivery and how they bring it up. They bring it up they bring it up to they man or whatever in a very they gonna feel like you nagging like damn like come on, you know what I mean. But I feel like your approach and your delivery is everything. You know, it's ways to make people, it's ways to get what you want from people. You know, that's
Okay.
all.
I agree. I agree. That
And I
reminded me
went
of what y'all said last time that I
very
was like,
influential.
"Oh, I can't wait to follow up on that."
I'm
You made
sure.
a comment, and let me make sure I get it right. It was
Please.
something along the lines of people break up not because of the woman but the man. Something you said like that. You remember? You remember? Okay. Let me. Oh God, I really meant
People don't
to.
break out because of the man.
You said it was something along the lines of when couples divorce or when people leave each other, it's the woman that said,
Okay. I'm saying like 9 times out of 10, the woman initiates the divorce.
right, right.
9 times out of 10. I
And
thought
why
it
is
was
that?
I thought it was BS, but when this was a big trending topic, and the facts start coming out, and then the statistics start coming out, and then but I always hear about it. You know, you go to a woman that was married and she's divorced, and you ask her not what happened but who initiated, and she say I did, and then because, and then she'll tell you because I wasn't, or he did, or whatever the case may be, but whatever happened, she initiated it for her own peace, whatever the case may be. So
Okay.
that's why I said it. Yeah.
So let's go back to that real quick. Okay. What are you thinking? What are you saying? Like, women don't stick in there long enough?
No, so the conversation was, I feel like men really do commit.
Men commit. That is what you said.
Men really do commit. They commit to the idea that this is my responsibility that I have to take care of. I'm down on my knee. I'm asking her to marry me. I'm saying solid ones. Solid ones. That's the
Solid
thing.
men, right?
Solid
Not the
ones.
clowns at the circus.
But see, the flags is, I feel like it's always ways to measure somebody by their fruit, right? I feel like it's always signs there to say, oh, this is a good pick. Or this may not be a good pick. Or your gut would tell you. But
Right.
I also know, on the other hand, stuff that you've never experienced that's uncomfortable for you. Like when you meet certain people in your life, like they love you so good that, like, some of the traumas that you had, be like, damn, you know what I mean? Because you can block your own blessings and get in your own way, is what I'm saying. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like the other side of that is really meeting somebody that do care about you, and they take the time to and you've realized you're not really healed. That's, they bring other
Okay.
traits out of you. So if you dating, make sure both of y'all are healed. You know,
Both of us are healed.
healed from your traumatic experiences. Know your
You
triggers.
do you
Know your
really
triggers.
think people are doing that?
Yeah. The real people, they sit out a relationship. Like, I wouldn't date anybody that just got out of a relationship. I would wait till like 6 months to a year. Cause you need to sit out for a while, get your mind together, make sure you're really over what you just went through.
I don't disagree with you, but I'm just wondering, is that really what's happening out here in these streets?
The first episode, I was telling you, like, people are serial daters, so it's like they in and out, you know, in and out. It's beneficial, transactional, whatever it is.
Right. Transactional. That was the key word. But then we also talked about in the first episode and two how cyclical things are, generational, if you will. Like, because I come from a different generation, my parents in a different generation than, maybe your parents, and certainly the generation behind you, like, we're looking at it totally different. I mean, I talk to my girlfriends, my peers, my age, who are single, and they say there's nothing out there. They're just like, yeah, it ain't nothing out here. That's what they
Not
said.
one, not one drop.
That I'm telling you what the people said. The people said it ain't nothing out here for my generation, right? So they probably looking at people in our same age range. But then I have coworkers, going back to just the whole work life thing, right? I have coworkers who are younger, and a lot of them are single, but they're happy in their singleness right now. Like, they're good. I haven't heard them say that there's nothing out there, but they're not necessarily looking right now. I'm talking people in their, let's say, mid to late 20s, early 30s. They're not even necessarily looking. They're not telling me there's nothing out there, but maybe they don't know because they're not looking.
I think a lot of people are just tired.
They
You know,
tired.
tired. It's really, it's when you, if you on social media all day, which I'm not on social media all day, but I feel like if you are, it's like a social engineering situation where it's like men versus women, women versus, it's a lot of bad things about relationship, and I feel like it's no one really making relationships look cool to be in one. It's easy to get in one, but it's when you get in one, there's so many other situations that happen, because you can be with one person and you dating this person while you still in a relationship with this. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
It's a lot of that. So if that's what's going on, when people catch on, they get tired. They're like, you know what? Anybody with some good common sense, they're gonna be in the house, sitting,
Yeah.
working out,
Yeah. All right.
experience life, traveling.
Let's play this game. Okay. You and I are going to go back to our 20s. No matter where you are now, where I am now, we ain't got to, tell people exactly where we are. But in our mind, we're going to go back to our 20s. What would you do different in your dating life? Knowing what you know right now today, but put yourself back in your 20s, what would you do different?
I would have worked on being more emotionally available and not so detached. I would have
Okay.
worked on that, you
I
know,
know there's some ladies appreciating that answer.
emotionally available for for some of the people in my life that was really actually trying to be the difference. So
Yeah. If I could be different than I was in my 20s and I am now, and then when I was then, I would be more intentional. Because if you remember when I shared my initial story, I just had this whole, this is how it's done kind of mindset, looking at my parents' generation and what I thought was, but I would have been more intentional in my 20s about relationships, expectations, and acceptance, what I accepted.
was in your generation was the goal family and marriage for
Hmm.
most of the women.
Yep.
So let me ask you this: and in this generation, do you see that goal still a priority?
No, I don't.
Okay, so everything else cooked because I feel like women run that. That's what women do. They set the culture up for the dating. If all women say we don't like dreadheads, like we don't like locks, we just like low cuts. You're gonna see every guy in the world cut their hair. I'm serious.
Yeah. And remember, I told you before in a previous episode that for me, hair, one guy can have two different, totally different looks with his hair, and I will feel differently about him. Like, maybe that's superficial, but
I mean, you like what you like. Can't nobody,
I
can't
like what
nobody,
I like. Just
you
like
like
you
what
don't
you
like
like.
kitten heels.
No, I do not like kitten heels. Not
You
at
do
all.
not.
Not at all. I almost sent y'all a video that somebody sent me after watching it, saying, "Hey, the baby, like 3 years old, and the lady took the kitten heel." He was like, "We don't want those. We don't want those. Put
Send
them
the
back."
video if you
So
still
yeah,
have it. That's
nah. So
hilarious.
like, nah, kitten heels to me is just, I don't understand, and I feel like looking at a woman walking them, it's saying like it's harder to walk in those than heels. The actual They walk like they feet hurt in them. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't wear high heels or kitten heels, so I'm not really sure.
You know what? How tall are you?
So I'm 5'1.5", but again, I've spent my entire career working in special education in one form or another. So I actually pretty much have tennis shoes on all the time or flat shoes. I don't get a chance outside of church to wear heels,
You don't
honestly.
go. You don't go. You don't dress up for dates.
Remember, I've been married for 31 years.
What that mean? Y'all don't. Y'all still don't go on dates?
Not like
It's,
that I need to dress up and wear heels. I can
ugh,
wear my flats when we do go. I mean, I don't have a lot of heels. I wear heels at church and they're not even necessarily that high.
that's
They're
triggering.
heels. They're not kitten heels, so don't
Now
come
that's
for me, chef.
triggering. That's triggering too. So I see. That's probably why the world is, because we have no one that makes it. You telling me after being married for this long, I can't even get my woman to dress up in some heels, some
No, you
sexy
could get me
shit
to
going
dress up.
on.
You could get me to dress up. But remember, also been raising kids. So I'm not saying we never went out on dates. I'm not saying that. But if we went out, I didn't necessarily have to wear heels. It just it just wasn't what had to happen for us.
Whatever's comfortable. We just want to spend time. So
Yeah.
it's more about the quality time.
Yeah. And also, this is just me saying this. I could be wrong, but single women, we're looking to attract a man. If we're single, we're looking to attract a man. And so we
So they
might
wear
equate
heels.
that to wearing certain types of shoes and or clothes. I don't have to attract the
Interesting.
man. I already got the man. I'm not saying I don't need to keep him, but I'm saying I don't need to pull out all the tricks because I already have him.
So
I just need to.
you don't believe how you start is how you finish. Like you like I met
Well, when
like
I met him, I wasn't wearing heels.
you was wearing basketball
Tennis shoes, I'm
sneakers.
sure, because we worked together. I met my husband at work.
So your work husband became your real husband.
He wasn't even a work husband. He was just a fella at work.
Workplace love. Okay, we need an
Workplace, yeah.
episode. We need an
So I
episode of
met him
this.
at work. So he
Okay.
already saw me in my low key. You understand? I didn't have to. So I'm
But you
not saying I don't ever do it or have never done it. I'm just saying I didn't start
so
off like that.
but I heard so like I be hearing women be like, yo, I just want to get dressed up and go out and you know what I mean? Like you don't get that urge, like I just want to
So
throw it on.
I don't know if you recall, but I shared in the beginning that I have a girlfriend group of 8 from college, and we get together for our birthdays throughout the year. And one year in particular, one of the girls said, I just want us to dress up and go out to dinner. And we did that. So, yes, women do just want to dress up sometimes if it's not something we do regularly.
Let's go back. Let's go
Okay.
back.
Okay.
Come on, let's go back.
Okay.
So, how long ago this been?
That had to have been maybe 8 to 10 years ago.
So you
That was her
haven't
birthday.
okay. So in 8 to 10 years, you haven't got dressed up and put no heels on.
No, no, I'm not saying I haven't in 8 to 10 years.
So when the
What I'm
last time you? When was the last time
heels?
dressed up with heels on? Yes.
Dressed up with heels? Maybe church. Maybe, which happens on
Outs
Sundays.
outside of church.
Outside of church, dressed up in heels. I went somewhere, but I can't even remember when and where, honestly. It wasn't that recent, Chef. I can't remember. I don't know. When the last time you put on a suit and went somewhere? That what okay, I did go to a cousin's wedding over the summer, so we're not gonna count that. So yeah, when the last time you dressed up in a suit and went somewhere?
uh, 3 years ago. So,
And where'd you
but
go?
it's so many other places. I think Maestro or something like that.
That's a
S-
restaurant?
Some steakhouse. Yeah, it's a
Yes, they are.
steakhouse. Yeah, a
You was
little
on a date?
steakhouse. I was on a date.
And so how did y'all decide to be dressed up like that?
She picked my clothes out. Why are you laughing? I'm serious. She picked my clothes out.
It's just the way you said it. Why did she pick your clothes out?
That's just something she, you know what I mean? I tell everybody I'm not a dresser, so I don't.
So she wanted you to look a certain way that you don't usually look.
I'm very diverse, but yeah, sure. We can go with that. We can
I'm
go with that.
asking. If that's not the case, don't tell me. I mean, tell me.
No, I just, okay, so like, I think, yeah, she picked my clothes out because she wanted me to look a certain way for that night. Yes. Yes. And ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean?
And that was about
Yeah.
3 years ago. Y'all still kicking it now? Do you hang out with her any? No. What happened? What went wrong? She
I don't
picked your
like,
clothes out. That's what went wrong.
nah,
No. You like that?
I like women to be women around me. Like I like that. So to me, let me handle my shit. You can handle that kind of, situation. I like women to be women. Um, no, I just I don't like possessiveness. That's all. I got a problem with controlling my time. I can't, it's one of those things I can't be who I am and be with you 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's a little bit of my fault and a little bit of her fault, but I just feel like it has to be some balance, and I failed her by not trying to find that balance to
Mm.
compensate the time that I wasn't with her. So I mean I own my faults on both sides. So.
Hmm.
Great person, just right person, wrong time.
Right person, wrong time. Okay, okay. Well, we have covered a lot tonight. I mean, we started with work stuff, and then we started we took the work stuff to kind of just like workplace relationships, and then we went back to conversations from the previous episode, which we still got to kind of resolve. When you, Lisa, and I get back together, I think we got to revisit all that for the three of us to have our opinions. um and then, I made the statement that my friend said it ain't nothing out there, but that's my age group. That's my age group,
What
older
your
than
age?
you.
Older than me.
So I'm 54.
So a lot of I don't know what area you're in, but a lot of your age group dating younger. A lot of older women are dating younger. I see that a lot. Um, Even and that was a conversation I seen online at one point in time that the biggest competition for the girls that are in their 30s right now is the older women. I think I find that to be more true. The competition is your mama's age now,
Wow.
because
I didn't
those
know.
women, they were the women that was like, nah, independence, equality,
Yeah.
career women. So that generation now has to be in competition with the now generation of women, unless they already got their man. You feel me?
So my girlfriends are not dating younger men. How old would you go? What's for your age range? How high would you go?
So,
I do.
I feel like you keep putting me on the spot tonight for
I
some
am.
reason.
You can
Uh,
do it back to me too.
no, no, no. I'll be honest. I feel like depending on what we doing, about 62. I do retirement age 62,
Really?
because what I learned is that age right there, all they want to do is travel, and I like traveling. A
Okay.
lot of them. They already work. I'm retired, so but not saying that, in a parallel universe, I would talk to a 60.
Now, mind you, I'm married. So anything I say is hypothetical, right? I can't even imagine how young I would go dating. I can't even imagine. But keep in mind, I have a son. I have two sons. One is 24 and one is 20. I feel like I would look crazy dating someone my son's age. That's crazy. Because that's my son.
That's not your son.
No, not the boy. But what I'm saying is, if they're the same age as my son, how can I be
Yeah,
looking at
but
them
but what
romantically?
what
I'm looking at them like I'm looking at my sons, figuring out what I got to do to get them on track.
question? So my question would be, if age is never mentioned and y'all have a great conversation, and he has the ability to keep your attention,
Hmm.
and you find out he's your son age, are you gonna leave that conversation and be like, nah, you too young for me?
I probably would.
That's
For me,
crazy
it's
work.
probably more mental
It's
than
all
anything.
mental. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're gonna date. So you're gonna go right back to your age group.
My age, I mean, so I've always dated older than myself, as a
Leisure
young
suits.
girl.
Okay.
As a young girl, my
Platforms.
husband's 3 years older than me. When I was young, it was always someone, if not my exact age, someone older than me. Never anyone younger than me.
Anybody with like platform shoes in your,
You sound like my son when he asked me if I've ever seen any white only signs.
that's crazy.
Nobody will platform shoes and nobody will white only signs.
You say
Okay.
you date older, so I just want to know what,
Older
what
than
what
me.
generation. Oh, like a year or two. Oh,
A
okay.
year or two older than me. Yes. I don't want no old man. I don't want no old man. What an old man gonna do for me?
I want a woman that still uses roll.
Roll deodorant. What do young girls use?
Nothing. A little dirty, but no. I'm messing. I'm playing. I'm playing. They probably
You know they
using
coming for you, right?
they probably using a little soap or water or something like that.
They are coming for you,
They
Chef.
probably use a little soap or
That's,
water.
you know what? That is definitely, I think, our next topic is, just the age differences, right? Like, what's too old, what's too young. I saw something. You know how they call us cougars if we're older women with younger men? But there's levels. After a cougar is a jaguar or something like that.
So what's that
I'm
age
gonna
group?
have to look for it. I'm gonna have to look for it, but there was like levels to it.
A leopard?
Yes, there were
They
there
got
were
leopards.
other names beyond cougar and jaguar. There were levels to it. I'm gonna find it.
I don't want to.
We,
I wouldn't want to go too far up now,
of
because
course
too
not.
you going too far up now. I gotta wipe your spit from your mouth, and yeah,
I mean, I don't think anybody should go too old or too young.
I think you should deal with the person that gives you that makes you feel alive again, like make you feel like, man, I want to, and they good for you. When the type of person you can call when you're going through something.
Okay,
Like
so again, hypothetically, I'm 54.
chemistry.
If I meet a fella who's 70, oh, I am exciting his life. I'm giving him, he is enjoying what I'm bringing to the table.
70?
I'm just giving an example. He's 70. You think I'm not bringing it like 54? I'm a young girl to him.
Anybody your age, I'm gonna ask them, do they know how to fry chicken hard the first time? Can you fry chicken hard the first time? That's gonna be and what your greens taste like. Yeah.
So I'm be honest with you. I personally do not fry chicken. I don't do it. I don't want to do. I don't fry anything. Me, I'm a bake it. I'm not saying I don't eat it, but I'm not cooking it. But you're a chef. I look bougie. So we breaking up now because I don't
Saying
fry.
every once in a while, I want a deep fried leg quarter sandwich with hot
Then
sauce
fry
and a
it
little mayo.
yourself. I'm not doing it.
See, that's why people single right now. That's why people are single in life right now.
It might be.
Yeah, right. That right there, that kills the whole relationship. Dang, because that is gonna have me have another person over here frying my leg quarter and probably teaching you how to do it. Be like, look, this how he like it. This how he like it right here.
So look, I'm gonna say this as we prepare to wrap up, as we give our last statements. I'm gonna say this. In Lisa's absence, I just want to thank all of her followers for joining us always on Lisa L. Gilliam's Random But Real. Um, if you have not, if you have not read Lisa and Tracy M. Worley's book, 21 Days, I encourage that, right? In that book, there's a lot of, they talk about their experiences, right? But they also, we talked about this, Chef, at the back of the book, they talk about like a lot of questions that you should ask your potential partner. But that's only if you're looking to go beyond just initial dating, right? Like you trying to maybe take this somewhere. Because all the things you and I are talking about right now, especially getting to this whole frying stuff, these are the kind of things people need to know about each other before they try to go too far, right? Like if it was you and me, hypothetically speaking, you and me, we dating, and you found out that I don't want to fry nothing, what does that do for you? Is we over? You done with me?
So okay, you don't fry, but you bake. So we're not completely out of, what I'm saying? I can fry, I can go to Popeyes. Okay.
Or you can fry it.
I can go to Popeyes.
You don't like frying?
I can go to Pop. Yeah, I can, but if I ask and it's a no, now I'm in the kitchen and I just don't want to cook for everybody. Can I just have, you didn't want to cook for me. Now I got to cook for you because I'm in the kitchen and I'm the chef. It's crazy.
We gonna talk about this more.
Matter of
We
fact,
gonna talk about
let's
this.
be let's be honest. women really don't cook for me because when they see that I can cook, they either go into this, oh, you're gonna judge my food, or
I was about to say they might be intimidated.
that's crazy.
I'm a basic cook. I'm not gonna lie. I have
Me
4
too.
children and a husband, and I've cooked for over 31 years. But I'm basic. I have girlfriends who cook well. They cook good. I look forward to their cooking. If I had a wife, it would be one of them. If I had a wife, it would be one of my girlfriends. They are some good cooks. I'm basic. I'm basic. We're not starving over here. Some days it's like, Mommy, that was good. And some days it's just like, okay,
But you would eat.
would I cook? Would I eat what I cook?
No, I'm saying, but you may not be the best, but the kids, everybody, the house is gonna eat regardless.
Everybody ate.
Oh, okay, well
Everybody,
that's
nobody
fine. I mean,
starved growing up.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
But
cool.
I'm basic. So if I found out that you were a cook, a chef, as your name indicates, would I
If
be looking forward to what you can create for us? Yes. Because
if
guess what? My skills are different. They might not be in the kitchen, but they good.
oh shit. Okay. Well, um, yeah, but if I don't let everybody know I cook, so unless they just follow my pages or something, but I don't let them. You can cook or not, or can we cook together? But I know what is fun, cooking with somebody that don't know how to cook. This a special meal or this certain meal is fun to me.
Maybe that's a date night. That's great. And I don't have no problem with that. But look, before we go down that rabbit hole, we got to get ready to wrap this up for the night. We'll pick this up on the next episode.
Yeah,
So
most
next
definitely.
episode will be not necessarily live because it should be New Year's Eve on our next episode. And so we won't necessarily be live, but we will have an episode for the people to follow up. And that's something we need to follow up with as well.
I
Yeah,
feel like y'all just want to
and
know.
we're
Y'all
gonna
want to
follow
know
up with
what I'm
some
like.
cuddling. There was some cuddling talk last time. Remember that? And that's what we're gonna talk about. What's wrong with cuddling? Don't answer it now. But what's wrong with cuddling, Chef? Think about it. We're gonna talk about it. Any last thoughts for the people?
Live your life. Live a full life.
Live a full life.
Live a full life and make sure this whatever you praying for is serving that. Whatever life you want that you praying for, make sure every day is leading up to that. That's all.
Yeah,
Live a full life on purpose. There you go. On
yeah.
purpose. On
No, I like
purpose.
that because
Yeah,
I will
on
say,
purpose.
so my final thoughts would be, in this life that I've lived, raising my children, being married as long as I have, I realize now I wasn't very intentional. I was just living, but I wasn't very intentional. And I'm here today, right? So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about why you don't like cuddling. We're gonna talk about a couple of other things as we end out this year, 2025, and prepare for 2026. Because relationships from the beginning of time to current, they're not going nowhere.
No, nowhere at all. But I think it's gonna get better.
It's
I can see it in a couple years getting better.
I hope
Real
so.
better. Real good. Real good. Real
Yeah.
good.
Real
Yeah.
good, real good. Well, Chef, it's good to see you.
Thank you.
And
Nice to see you too. And hey, everybody in the audience.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
certainly happy holidays um to all of
Hug
our
somebody.
viewers.
Go and
And the
give somebody
holidays can
some
be
love.
challenging times too. So to
Hug
those that are
somebody.
very challenged during the holiday, just know that you are in our thoughts and prayers as well.
If you can't afford it, don't buy it. They're gonna love you anyway. That's all I'm saying. They're gonna love you anyway. If you really gifts, yeah, they don't buy it. Don't go crazy. Don't be stressed out behind, them kids, behind anybody. You got all year to buy it. You got all year to get somebody a gift. Don't just make it one day that I have to get it. You know?
And so hopefully we will end the show with this. Hopefully it ends after this, because if not, we're going down a whole nother rabbit hole.
Nah,
But
I ain't gonna talk.
do you recall these words? Drink water and pray.
Yes, yes, yes.
Drink
Yeah,
water and pray, people.
yeah. Drink water. do something with that. Yeah, drink
You
water and pray.
might
Yeah,
trademark
definitely.
it.
Yeah. Nah, I ain't no, okay. We're gonna talk a little later, but you
We're
guys be
gonna talk
blessed.
about it.
Yeah, be blessed. Yeah.
Yes. All right. That's my way of saying bye.
They still we